Hey, it's Dan Emmons, and this is Bite-Sized Blockchain. Raising capital is very difficult. Few people have access to these individuals with money. Even with access, it's highly unlikely to obtain the funds you're seeking without giving up massive amounts of ownership. Now, with the advent of ICOs, initial coin offerings, people regardless of skin color, religion, creed, or geographical location have the opportunity to raise capital without the sacrifice of ownership. Enter the ERC20 token contract. This special type of Ethereum-based smart contract maintains a cryptographic ledger mapping wallet addresses to amounts. It provides a very basic interface to the token name, total supply, balance of, or allowance for an address to be spent. Events are logged and transactions are written to the blockchain whenever a transfer occurs, making any purchase of ICO token sales public and exhibit the same security features as other forms of money transfer on the blockchain. Code conducts the transfer without an authority. As of January 2018, there are more than 21,000 token contracts, and the most popular have raised over $70 million each. Here's why ICOs are beneficial to startups. In any startup, the burn rate of cash for just staying alive is working against you. If you don't have enough momentum, you will fail. This is one of the greatest advantages of the ICO. There's far less paperwork to get started. In theory, you can create a white paper that lays out the details of your company, service, or product and deploy an ERC20 compliant token, as well as deploy a smart contract that will conduct your sale. You can argue that you should have at least an alpha product available before raise. However, this is not necessary and is up for debate. There are no hard set rules for this space, and as such, the market will determine the viability of an ICO. Compare this with traditional VC raises, where there is a legacy set of rules and regulations to follow. In comparison, this is a snail's pace. You set up a corporation, holdings account, term sheet, and pitch tag, which is extremely expensive, time-consuming, and frankly, is a hindrance to progress. You may not simply have the opportunity or access to the required legal team or resources based on current financials. When talking about geographical disadvantage, you inevitably hear discussions of developing countries where it is impossible for a poor developer with a great idea or product to ever even have a chance to get in front of an investor. But you don't even have to dig very far in the developed world to see the real struggle for raising capital. Consider Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Craig Sweeny of ShiftSavings at StartupMKE Emerge event exclaimed, "There's a lot of good momentum from the startup perspective, but from the investment community, there are some real issues and we've struggled." End quote. Rather than wait for VC funds to come around and deal with a company not based in Silicon Valley, companies in Milwaukee would benefit greatly from reaching out to the global community and not just be confined to the drudgery of a poor local business climate. Wait around too long and your business might not even make it past the 3-year mark. You don't have to be a mid to late stage company with multi-million-dollar revenues to reach out on a global scale and begin expanding your business today. It's not just Milwaukee, it's your hometown. Build it and they will come. With an ICO, a company is also focused on community building. When people invest in or purchase your utility token, they are incentivized to encourage the growth or promotion of your product. There's a monetary incentive for investors when your business does well, as those tokens often become tradable on exchanges. Early investors of your product either benefit by a steep discount of a utility token price or speculative increase in market value. The pace of advancement in the ICO space is too fast for anyone to keep up with. We could stay awake 23 hours a day and still miss an eternity of information related to ICOs by sleeping even 1 hour per night. And such a pace cannot help but create new ills as it dispels old. So it is not surprising that some would have us stay a little longer, to rest, to wait. If this capsule of history of our progress teaches us anything, it's that man in his quest for knowledge is determined and cannot be deterred. On the bright side, there are some truly legitimate companies in the space that have both altruistic and mutually beneficial goals for their executive team, company staff, and investors. The products they develop will have an impact in reducing some of the drudgery and bureaucracy we encounter. If you are looking to invest in ICO token sales, the rule is this: do your due diligence. There is a bit of a Wild West mentality in this space, but I'd rather leave it up to the market and free will of the individual to decide what to invest in than a central authority coming up with arbitrary rules of protectionism. After all, one of the core principles of Bitcoin and Ethereum are that they are censorship resistant, and that is at the heart of what we are all here for: empowerment. Build it, and they will come. Please subscribe, like, and share.